Is the highest priced Asetek wheel worth the money? We'll tell you right here, right now. Greetings Romy, you're watching Vrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing. Today, we're once again reviewing a sim product that could interest you. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more our patrons. My name is Ike, and I'll be your host for this video. Asetek released their Invicta Wheel shortly before the Sim Racing Expo, and were gracious enough to let us test drive it for a long while. Here's our initial impressions. It's an incredibly lightweight rim, and you've been hearing us be clear about the lighter the rim, the better the direct drive experience.
The way we wanted the Invicta Wheel to be very light, but still very rigid. That's very important when you, like we do, produce wheelbases of a certain quality, because if you have a very heavy wheel, you're
losing torque.
Yeah, the motor will need to use more power to give you the precise force, the force feedback. So we wanted, of course, to have the Invicta Wheel be compatible and be usable in the perfect way with all of our wheelbases. And then, of course, it needs to be rigid as well, very rigid built, so you don't lose a lot of torque as well, because if it rattles, then a lot of the torque will just disappear into thin air. So we actually took a full block of Bell aluminium and then CNC'd it. So what you see here is some of the remains of the raw aluminium, and we just modeled all of the rear housing from like a full 2 or 3 kilo block of aluminium.
The wheel quality otherwise is also excellent, as we would expect from Asetek. The encoders were at the same time easy to use and hard enough to use to know you've activated them, although the membrane switches used on the buttons did not give quite enough feedback. Interestingly enough, the hand grips didn't work as well for me as they did for Cody, who tested the wheel after me. The grips left pressure marks on the inside of my thumbs even as I was using gloves. I had to learn to use my fingers to hold the grips and not my thumbs. As I said, this seems to be quite subjective, and while you'll be able to choose different handles, the thumb rests look the same for all of them. You can configure the Invicta rim to your heart's delight, by the way.
When you go to buy this wheel on a website, you'll be able to configure it almost exactly as you like it. So I quick go through everything that you'll be able to choose. You'll be able to choose either without handles or choose between our 4 handles that are compatible with our formula wheels. Then you can choose the colors of all the thumb encoders or the buttons, the kinky switches and the rotary encoders. You can choose from 6 different colors. We have black, gray, orange, red, blue and purple, as well as you can choose the colors for the buttons on the back. You can choose if the front plate, if you want it to be woven carbon or you want it to be forged carbon like the ones we have on the button islands. You can choose if you'd like the normal composite shifters like we have here. We also have a set of carbon fiber shifters you can choose from. You can choose if you want the quick release or not the quick release, if you're in another ecosystem but still want to try our great quality wheel. So there's a lot of configurability that you can do, and you can choose a lot. And when we've built the first couple of batches of the Invicta wheel for the customers that's already ordered, we will produce a set of the encoders and kinky switches in all the colors that you'll be able to buy. So you'll actually be able to like, with a simple Allen key, you can take these off and install another color, and those encoders will actually work for your Forte or La Prima wheel as well. So we're trying to do like this holistic system of our products where you can interchange a lot and you don't need to buy a new steering wheel every time you want to change your wheel.
The display on the wheel is excellent. With a refresh rate of 60 FPS, it surpasses anything that we've seen until now on sim racing wheels. It helps that the screen is a massive 1080p, vastly outshining even the best from other wheel manufacturers. It's very sharp, and because of the high refresh rate, it's very easy to read. Added to that are gimmicks like the rotating gear display and the indicator for the level of grip your tyres are experiencing, which has the LEDs flashing when you're about to lose grip. You can even see your brake pressure on the wheel. Asetek decided to build the display and drive themselves, and it's paid off excellently because they've been able to do more with it than most wheel makers even in this early iteration, with plenty more on the drawing board for future updates.
As you can probably see, as he is sliding quite a bit around the track, you can probably see one of the new software features. So you can see that the LEDs on the wheelbase are actually flashing when he's about to lose grip. So you can see it flashes blue. So kind of we've programmed it to do that, so you can use your peripheral vision to kind of understand when you're about to slip and then correct. You should be able to feel it in the wheel as well, but you'll have more indicators of what is happening. As one of the main differences from other display wheels and to ours is that most other display wheels use a vocoder display, which is basically a off-the-shelf USB display that just mirrors the image you select in SimHub. We've decided to go another route, so we've designed our own glass for the top. You can see it's fully flush with the rest of the steering wheel, and then we've bought a panel where we have full control of the firmware and the drivers, which means in a couple of months, when the software developers are ready, we'll push out a simple race update, and then it'll turn into a touchscreen.
Oh.
So the technology is already in the panel and in the glass, but we can update it as we want.
The firmware is not there yet.
Yeah, it's in the wheel and in the panel in the glass, but we need it to be implemented with the features in RaceUp, and that's the great thing about actually owning the firmware. Have access to just change it, then we can program and code it ourselves. That's one of the pros of having a big software department, that we have a bit more control of everything.
Asetek told us they had planned even more interesting gimmicks, but decided not to release them because the sims did not offer detailed enough telemetry to have the information displayed well enough. A pity, but we have to thank them for their restraint. The Invicta is a perfect top end to Asetek's wheel lineup, lacking a little on the offerings from GSI, MME or Bavarian SimTech for the cost, but you don't have a full ecosystem with those manufacturers. While I personally would like to see Asetek pushing the boundaries of what's possible even further, you know me, I'm the fiddler, the DIYer. This wheel fits perfectly in the Asetek ecosystem and on the wheelbase of anyone who wants top-notch, ready-to-run quality. If you have the kind of money the wheel costs, you'll get a very good quality for that price. And for those of you who have been watching this long, here's bonus information regarding the lower price offering from Asetek coming next year.
And for next year is going to be the new base that Andre already let come through.
Yeah.
And does it come with a whole ecosystem at that level?
Yeah, so it will be a bundle of a wheelbase, a wheel and a pedal. Like a direct drive wheelbase, just obviously at a lower force than our current wheelbases, yeah. To hopefully reach a broader audience.
And also upgradable like the rest of the stuff.
It's hard because it's obviously a different size and different materials, so we'll need to figure out. You will probably be able to use your current steering wheels on the wheelbase.
But you will need a complete new wheelbase if you want to upgrade.
Yeah, because there's simply too much different in size and motors that doesn't really make the upgrades worth it. So you'll need to replace the casing and all that stuff, and it's more or less a completely new wheelbase. So the price difference of sending it in, getting it changed and all that, it's probably too expensive for that. But we hope to soon have the Prima to 4-day upgrade ready.